Stop explaining. Start becoming. Everyone wants to talk in 2025. Everyone wants to post their every thought, every mood, every little progress update. But not you. Not anymore. You've wasted enough breath explaining your vision to people who don't even believe in themselves. You've let too many days slip away defending your goals to people who have none. It's over. This is the year you vanish from the noise and rise from the shadows. This is the year you pull your energy out of the mouths of others and pour it into your own growth. Because here's the truth. The world is loud, but power is quiet. The strongest moves are made in silence. The greatest transformations happen unseen. Seeds don't sprout in the spotlight. They grow in the dark, in the soil, hidden from every eye. You have been talking too much. Not because you're arrogant, but because you wanted someone to understand you. But listen carefully. You don't need them to understand that you need to execute. When you speak before the work is done, you invite opinions. Opinions that become doubts. Doubts that become hesitation. Hesitation that becomes delay. And delay? Delay kills dreams. Every time you tell someone your plans, you hand them a thread that connects directly to your mind. And guess what? They will pull on it, sometimes softly, sometimes violently, until the structure of your vision unravels. Not everyone who listens wants to see you win. Some people are bored and crave your failure because it entertains them. Others are jealous and will mask their envy in fake encouragement. And some will kill your dream without even realizing it. By drowning you in advice you never asked for, silence protects you from all of that. Silence is the armor your dreams need while they're still fragile. When no one knows what you're building, they can't sabotage it. When no one hears your plan, they can't twist it. When no one sees your progress, they can't compare it to theirs and project their insecurity onto you. In 2025, your focus must be razor sharp, not just I'll work hard sharp. I'm talking cut through steel sharp. You have to wake up every day knowing exactly why you're doing what you're doing and refuse to waste a second explaining yourself to people who aren't moving in the same direction. Ask yourself right now, how many hours last year did you waste defending your vision instead of building it? How many moments did you give away to meaningless debates, pointless scrolling, and conversations that left you drained? That is time you will never get back. And yet, here you are, alive, breathing, capable of change. That means the choice is still yours. This year, you train in silence. You grind in silence. You heal in silence. You learn in silence. And when the time comes, you will speak without words, because your results will speak for you. Do you know what happens when you truly focus on yourself? You stop caring about what everyone else is doing. You stop comparing your pace to theirs. You stop being distracted by their highlight reels and their fake smiles on social media. Because when you're fully immersed in your own growth, the noise fades. You don't even hear it anymore. But here's the warning. The moment you commit to focusing on yourself, the tests will come. The distractions will double. The gossip will find you. The arguments will appear out of nowhere. People will poke at your silence because they can't stand not knowing. They will try to bait you into defending yourself, into wasting the energy you should be using to build. You must resist, not with arrogance, but with discipline. Because every time you resist the urge to speak, you grow stronger. Every time you choose focus over distraction, your momentum builds. And momentum is the most powerful force you can have in 2025. Think about a train. When it's at rest, it takes tremendous force to move it even an inch. But once it's moving, once it's gained speed, nothing can stop it easily. That's you this year. In January, you may feel heavy, slow, tired from the weight of old habits. But if you keep pushing, keep showing up, keep focusing on the work instead of the talk, you will build unstoppable momentum. You don't need to announce every win. You don't need to clap back at every doubt. You don't need to prove them wrong right now. You need to keep moving forward until proving them wrong becomes inevitable. In the end, the loudest thing about you will not be your voice. It will be your life. Your transformation will be the evidence. Your results will be the argument no one can counter. So in 2005, be the storm they never saw coming. Not because you hid out of fear, but because you hid to prepare. Because you respected your dream enough to protect it from careless hands. Because you understood that when the seed is ready, it will break through the soil, stronger, unshakable, and undeniable. Stay silent, stay dangerous, stay focused. The war you fight alone, nobody talks about this part. The part where focusing on yourself feels like isolation. The part where staying silent makes the days heavier. The part where you start to wonder if anyone even notices you anymore. And the truth is, they don't. Not because you're invisible, but because you finally stopped performing for the crowd. When you choose silence, you choose to walk away from the constant validation loop. You stop feeding off likes, comments, and quick dopamine hits. You stop living for other people's applause and start working for your own approval. And in that shift, you'll meet the real enemy, not the haters, not the doubters, but your old self. Your old self will fight to survive. It will try to convince you that it's okay to skip the grind just this once. It will whisper that you deserve a break when you haven't even earned it. It will remind you how easy it was to live for comfort instead of challenge. And if you're not careful, it will drag you right back into the person you were trying to leave behind. The war in 2025 is a silent one. No cameras, no cheering audience, just you versus you. And it's not about winning one big battle. It's about winning the small ones every single day. When the alarm goes off and every muscle in your body wants to stay in bed, you win if you get up. When you're tempted to scroll endlessly instead of reading or learning, you win if you put the phone down. When someone pokes at your silence, trying to provoke a reaction, you win if you stay calm and keep building. These are the victories that matter. They don't make headlines, but they make you unstoppable. Focusing on yourself means mastering your time like a weapon. It means no more, I didn't have time excuses, because the truth is, you did have time, you just gave it away. This year, you guard your hours like gold. You learn to say no without guilt. You stop explaining your boundaries. You stop justifying why you're not going to that event, why you're not answering that text right away, why you're not getting involved in drama. Because here's the truth. Your silence is not disrespect. Your silence is self-respect. People will misunderstand it. They will think you're cold. They will think you've changed. They're right, you have changed. Because you've realized that not every invitation deserves your presence. Not every conversation deserves your voice. Not every problem in the world is yours to solve. And the most dangerous distractions of all, they often wear the mask of productivity. Answering every email the second it arrives, saying yes to every opportunity, even when it doesn't align with your vision. Spending hours networking with people who aren't moving anywhere. This is where focus becomes brutal. Because focus isn't just about what you do, it's about what you refuse to do. In 2025, you need to train your mind to sit in the silence without seeking escape. No music, no endless scrolling, just you and your thoughts. Because in that stillness, you'll hear the truth about where you're at and where you need to go. And sometimes that truth will hurt. You'll realize how many years you've given away. You'll see clearly the habits that are still holding you back. You'll remember the goals you've been postponing for years. But here's the beauty. Once you face that truth, you can change it. not by talking about it, not by posting about it, but by putting your head down and working in absolute silence until your actions rewrite the story. Some days, focusing on yourself will feel selfish. It's not, it's self preservation. You cannot pour into others from an empty cup. You cannot lead, inspire, or help anyone if you're constantly drained from giving your time and energy to people who only take. This is why you must protect your mental space like it's sacred ground. Because it is. Your peace is the soil where your growth will root itself. And if you let weeds of drama, gossip, and negativity grow there, they will choke out everything you're trying to build. So when people ask, "Why are you so quiet this year?" Smile, say nothing, let them wonder, let them guess. Let your results answer for you when the time comes. Because in December 2025, when they see what you've built, when they see how far you've come, they'll finally understand why you didn't have time for their noise. And by then, it won't even matter if they understand. The power they never saw coming. Power moves quietly. The deadliest predators don't roar before they strike. They wait, watch, and move with precision. That's what you must become in 2020. Calculated, patient, dangerous in the silence. You see, loudness is cheap. Anyone can shout. Anyone can make a post declaring, "I'm going to change my life this year." But shouting doesn't move you forward. Talking doesn't burn fat, build muscle, or increase your income. No amount of noise will replace the hours of discipline it takes to create something extraordinary. This is why the ones who truly rise keep their mouths shut and their heads down. They let the world sleep on them. They let the world doubt them. Because while everyone else is busy performing, they are preparing. While others are posting about the grind, they are actually grinding. You must understand, silence creates fear in your competitors. When people can't read you, they can't predict you. When they can't predict you, they can't prepare for you. And when you finally make your move, they will have no defense because they never saw it coming. In 2025, every silent day you spend sharpening your craft is another bullet in the chamber. And when you finally fire, your results will hit like a storm that breaks without warning. But here's the key. Don't just work in silence, improve in silence. Read more than you speak. Train harder than you post. Learn skills without broadcasting them. If you're building a business, make the deals in the shadows. If you're transforming your body, let them see the new you when it's done. If you're changing your life, let the world hear about it only when it's irreversible. People often talk themselves out of greatness by sharing too early. You post your idea before it's ready. Someone steals it. You tell your plans to a friend. They plant doubt in your mind. You announce your goal publicly. Your brain thinks it's already accomplished something and loses urgency. Stop leaking your power through your mouth. Let the mystery work in your favor. In a world where everyone overshares, the one who stays silent becomes magnetic. People will start to wonder, what are they up to? They will talk about you more when you're silent than when you are always speaking. And while they speculate, you build. But remember, silence without focus is useless. If you disappear and waste the time on meaningless distractions, you've done nothing but hide. The silence must be filled with action. Wake up with a plan, attack the day with purpose. Move through your tasks like a soldier executing orders. Every hour, every decision, every choice you make should be moving you closer to the vision you have locked away in your mind. And here's the best part. When you commit to this way of life, you won't even feel the need to prove anyone wrong anymore. Because you'll realize they were never your competition. Your only competition was the person you were yesterday. And every day you stay focused, You beat them. You'll feel the shift. You'll start walking differently. Not because you're arrogant, but because you know you're becoming dangerous in a way that doesn't need to be advertised. That quiet confidence will radiate. People will notice without knowing why. Some will be inspired. Others will be intimidated. Both reactions are fine. Neither is your concern. This is the year you stop telling the world what you're about to do. This is the year you make your silence louder than your words. This is the year you become the kind of person who is impossible to ignore. Not because you demand attention, but because your results demand respect. And when December comes and you stand in front of the mirror, you will see it. The transformation that no one saw happening, but everyone will feel. You won't need to say, "I told you so." Your life will say it for you. From shadows to shockwaves. The world thinks it knows you. They think you're predictable. They think they've got you figured out. They've placed you neatly inside a box built from your past mistakes, your past habits, your past life. But 2025 is the year you burn that box to ash, quietly, patiently, deliberately, until there's nothing left for them to label. This is the breaking point, the place where your silence turns into shockwaves, where all the days you spent unnoticed become the fuel for one moment that changes everything. Understand this: silence is not the end game, it's the incubation period. A seed doesn't stay buried forever. It bursts through the soil with unstoppable force. And you, right now, you are still underground. You are absorbing the nutrients of discipline, feeding off the darkness, hardening your will. But soon, the ground will split. And when you emerge, you will be unrecognizable. Not because you pretended to change, but because you did change. Your friends won't see it coming. Your critics won't be ready for it. Even you will be shocked by how far you've come. But here's the dangerous part. Before that breakthrough, there will be a stretch where it feels like nothing is happening. You'll be grinding day after day, and the mirror won't seem to change. The numbers won't seem to move. The results will feel slow. And this is the moment that kills most people's dreams, because they mistake silence for stagnation. Don't make that mistake. Growth isn't always visible, but it's always happening if you're putting in the work. The tree doesn't sprout the same day you plant it. The muscle doesn't appear the same week you start training. The business doesn't explode the same month you launch it. Silence is where momentum is born, but it's also where patience is tested. In this stretch, you will want to announce yourself, to prove you're making progress, to shout to the world, "I'm still here," but resist it. The longer you stay silent, the bigger the shock when you finally step forward. Think of it like drawing back an arrow. The more you pull, the more tension builds. The more tension builds, the further the arrow will fly. Your silence is that pull. Every disciplined day is another inch of tension. And when you finally release, it will be unstoppable. This year, stop chasing small wins just to feel seen. Stop seeking cheap validation. Focus on building something that, when revealed, cannot be ignored. Not because you said it was impressive, but because it is. By the time you reveal your progress, you should be so far ahead that the people who doubted you have no choice but to admit they were wrong. Not because you rubbed it in their faces, but because the truth will be undeniable. But let's be real, this takes sacrifice. You will lose some people along the way. Some will not understand why you're not as available as you used to be. Some will feel offended by your silence. Some will accuse you of thinking you're better than them. Ignore it. They don't know what you're building. They don't need to know. They have not seen the nights you stayed up learning, the mornings you dragged yourself out of bed, the temptations you resisted, the inner battles you fought. And one day, they will look at you and think it happened overnight. They will call it luck. They will call it timing. But you will know the truth. It was silence. It was focus. It was you. This is the year you make your silence dangerous. Not the silence of doing nothing, but the silence of preparation. The silence of sharpening your sword while the rest of the world dulls theirs with pointless chatter. The silence of the storm before it hits. When you finally step out of the shadows, you won't need to push your way into the spotlight. The spotlight will find you. Because true transformation cannot be hidden forever. It will radiate from you without a single word. So keep your head down, keep your voice low, keep your moves quiet, because when you will rise like thunder after the lightning, and they will never forget the sound. Own 2025. Rise silent, roar unstoppable. Here's the truth. Nobody wants to tell you 2025 isn't going to be easy. It won't be handed to you wrapped in a bow. It will demand everything you have, and then some. But you're not here for easy. You're here because you're hungry, because you're tired of the noise, the distractions, the endless explanations that lead nowhere. Because deep down, you know you're capable of more. This is your year to stop asking for permission, to stop waiting for the right moment, the right people, the right conditions. The right moment is now. The right people are you. The right conditions are created by your focus, your silence, your relentless work. Focus on yourself like your life depends on it, because it does. There is no greater investment. There is no safer bet. When you channel your energy inward, you build a foundation that no external force can shake. And stay silent, not because you have nothing to say, but because you understand the power of your words. Not because you fear judgment, but because you refuse to waste your energy on noise. Your silence is not weakness, it's strategy. Imagine the kind of respect you will command when your actions shout louder than anyone's words ever could. Imagine the freedom you'll feel when you no longer seek validation, because you've earned it from yourself. Imagine the peace that comes when you stop competing with others and start competing with the person you were yesterday. This is not a sprint. This is a war of endurance, a test of will, proving ground for the relentless. Every day in 2025 is a chance to become the version of yourself that others only dream about. But it won't come from talk. It won't come from shortcuts. It comes from grinding in silence when nobody's watching. So own this year. Own your mornings. Own your habits. Own your mindset. Set boundaries like a fortress. Protect your time like treasure. Fuel your passion with discipline. When doubts creep in, and they will, remember why you started. When distractions tempt you, remind yourself what's on the other side of focus. When people doubt you, smile quietly and keep moving. Because in 2025, the loudest thing about you will not be your voice. It will be your life, your transformation, your unstoppable rise. You don't need to shout to be heard. You just need to be relentless. So start now, stay silent, stay focused, and watch the world catch up to the storm you were quietly building all along.